how to create a flourish or embellishment or swirl design like this in Affinity 3, PC or Mac. First step, let's just remove it, and it's going to be a spiral. This is the initial design of it. So a spiral, I'm using the Pixel Studio, but you can use Vector Studio, perfectly reasonable, and go to spiral tools right down the bottom, select that, and just click and drag. And by default, it creates 5 turns. And you can see this down here in the context toolbar. And you can set it to something else. I'm going to go with 2. I think it's a bit too many for this part, but you could create a nice flourish design with this initial setup. But I'm going to go with 2. So 2, and I've got that. Now, another thing you need to do is just rotate it. So just rotate it around. It's never the right angle, but I want it 0 like that. However, it's a spiral. You don't need to keep it as a spiral at this point. What you can do, you can convert it to curves. So right click and just go down here to convert to curves. So convert to curves. Now it's a curve. You can see all the nodes for that, and that makes it a bit easier. What you can then do is duplicate the design. Got here, move tool with it selected. I can reposition it. What I can now do is drag, hold down the Alt or Option key and drag. So just create that. And I can reposition it. You can see it snaps occasionally. Now, if you haven't got the snapping on, you go to View and Snapping. So you've got there, and Enable Snapping. Also, you could use maybe a grid, set a grid, maybe guides to make it easier as well. You can really define it so you can position it. I often resort to guides if I don't get it after the first couple of goes. Okay, next thing to do is transform this. So right click, and then just go down here to transform and flip horizontal, and again right click, transform and flip vertical. So you've got that. And now what you can do, you can move it, reposition it. You can see the snapping again, it's just snapping nicely there. And I would suggest go here to zoom, so you can just zoom in. I mean, it's inevitable that you probably won't get it exactly right. I certainly never do. So with this, I can go here, and I can see now you've got the nodes for this one and a node for that one. And actually that looks like it's sort of on the right position. Again, it might require a little bit of sort of going backwards and forwards, or again, just use some guides or grid. So let's just, again, select both. Got that? Oh, it is actually slightly out. It's always the way, slightly out. And what you can do, you can always just drag this up, and you can see now, just slight bit of thing, and now with that, still slightly out. Now, yes, it does take a few goes. I'm certain people are much better than me when it comes to joining the curves like that. Okay, so once you've got that, just drag over those. They're selected. And what you need to do is just go here. Join curves. That's what I want to do. So join curves. Now you've got one curve. However, if you go over here, you'll notice you've got this. You can double click and you get this, which I think is nicer. Now, if you don't, what you can do, you've got this, you can actually just select the various control points and just move it and just get a nice smooth curve. But generally, just double click, you should get something like this. Well, once you've got that, what you can then do is, let's just zoom out so you can actually see the whole thing. It would be better, wouldn't it? See the whole thing. You can now see, you get this. Now, it has modified slightly. I don't think it's exactly perfect. But what you can do, and it really sort of masks it personally, is the next step, which is just go down here and you can just set this. So you can just increase the size, and you can see now as you increase that, personally, I think that makes any slight imperfection there not so noticeable. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but what you can do is now simply just go to the vector and expand stroke. And then you get that, which I think's sort of getting there. I'm certain you could zoom in and you could look at the various nodes. Let's just have a look. I'm certain if you could see the nodes there. It's not going to show it to me. Where's the node tool? The new tool is going to be selected. Always the way when you're looking for the node tool. There it is. Yeah, I think it's okay. Doesn't look too bad. There's not any points, extra points added mysteriously in different places, which is always a good sign that something's gone wrong. Well, once you've got that, what you can then do is recolor it. And the really good way of doing that, instead of using black, of course, is just go here to effects. So just click effects. And with this, you can go here and you've got the option for 3D. 3D is pretty good. And you can just drag this and you notice it goes up to 100. Well, I don't want it 100. I want it to 200. So you can enter the value there. You don't have to have it just to 100. The slider only goes up to 100 though. Also, you can go to color overlay. So click on that and click here and go for maybe a golden color. And I'm just going to go with that one. I think that's a pretty golden. Maybe you can vary it, but I think that looks about right. 36, 100, 38 there. And now 3D, what you can do is you've got profiles as well. If you want to add some slight more embellishment to it, just go here and maybe click one of these ones, the profiles, and you've got a number of them to try. You could try that one. I think that looks quite nice as well. But personally, probably that one makes that look the nicest. And of course, you don't have to go with that. You can modify it yourself. Of course, you set all the various profiles by moving this, changing that. You could tweak it, change it like that to create a variety of different designs. And then once you're happy, click close. And there you've got your very quick embellished design. Well, another thing you could do, of course, give it a bit more depth. You can always go here to outer shadow, just click there and just change radius, offset and intensity just to add a bit of shadow there if that's what you want. And of course, once you've got this design, really good thing, if you're happy with your design, you don't want to recreate it each and every time. Unfortunately, there is no tool to create it quickly. Be nice if there was in Affinity, but there isn't. What you can do, you can always then save it to your window and go down to General and go to Assets. And I've, strange enough, got my Assets panel here and I've got Shapes. I've already added one as well. So let's just go to this right side, click here, and what I've got selected, I can add from selection. And now you can see you've got the design with, of course, the style as well. And of course, there are other styles available. So you can always change it and tweak it in many other ways. So what you can also do with this, let's just resize it. So this design can be resized. Maybe just hold down the Alt or Option key again, and you can drag and duplicate the design. So you've got this, maybe something like that. And let's just make certain they're all nicely aligned. Now, probably best thing is go to Vector Studio, and there's the alignment up here. Alignment, because I can never get it right. So there, oh, it was actually pretty nicely connected like that. And with that, I can also just group the two. So just go up here and I've got add. So you can see you've got these here, group them, add them into a single shape. Again, this curve now has become one curve after being two. And of course, what you can also do is, always nice to add, you can always then hold down the Alt or Option key and again drag, and you get a design like this. And again, if the snapping is just nicely, you can create all kinds of variations. You don't have to create it exactly equal like that. Maybe go up there, just drag it up just slightly like that. All kinds of different designs can be created. And again, select both. And again, click here. And you've added them together and create all kinds of lovely embellishments. And of course, what you can also do, hold down the Alt or Option key and drag and duplicate, and you can create all kinds of abstract shapes and designs like that. Maybe pattern designs. So you've got this design, it can be used. Go here, Pixel, just use it here, Pixel, and go to New Pattern Layer from Selection. And unfortunately, because it's a shape, you can't do that. So what you need to do is, I'm just going to drag, duplicate it, and then go to Pixel, rasterize, and rasterize there. And now you can, let's just rasterize that. Yep, rasterize the whole thing. And then again, Pixel, New Pattern Layer from Selection. And then you've got your pattern design, which you can then manipulate. Let's just remove the other ones so you don't see those. And now there's that pattern design. And you can, of course, move that around and create all kinds of unique designs that way. And let's just resize it. And you can see nice pattern embellishment design like that. You can also create various circular designs as well with this. I'm just going to go over here, and with the move tool selected, I can rotate it. So I'm just going to position it like that. Also, I can go to context toolbar and go down here, just click here and just enable transform origin. So you can see transform origin, and you can then reposition that, maybe move that just below like that, just position it there. That's that setting here, just in here, enable transform origin. Once you've done that, with the move tool selected, press return or enter on the keyboard and you'll get that. And don't know what happened there, it just beeped for a second. However, once you've got that, you can then go here to duplicate and also number of copies. And I'm just going to increase those. So put it to whatever value, and rotation, maybe go with 10. Let's go with 10 there. And you can see now you get a lovely rotation like that, which I think creates a nice embellishment design itself. And number of copies, you can see you could go all the way around like that. Maybe 36 there, all the way, or 35. That's another option, of course. So let's just put that to 35. And many other options are available as well. Of course, you can change your origin point, and you can do that while this panel's there. You can just reposition it. So you can just move this around. Now, doesn't unfortunately appear until you've stopped and released it, but you can reposition it like that, and you get designs like that, maybe like that, and maybe like that. You can see you can create some quite interesting designs simply just by moving the origin point. And I think I'll go with that for my final design. And click OK. And of course, you can still manipulate the design. You can remove things, etc. But you can also select them all. With them all selected, you can then group them all. So right click and down to group. And then you could, of course, just rasterize the entire image if you wish. If you've got any questions or thoughts about this, please let me know in the comments below. Bye.